To stuff in your pocket so that you can cheat the citizens of this country. So I'll leave, and you can do whatever the hell you please to do. One day God's gonna stand before you, and He's gonna judge you and the rest of your damn cronies up on the hill. And then you will get your just desserts.
Outpouring of anger yet against the new administration. At one point, the crowd filled all of Pennsylvania Avenue from the White House to the Capitol.
I want our freedom, and if we're losing day by day by day.
They came from all over the country to protest the president's health care plan, the stimulus package, Washington's Wall Street bailout, and more.
We are here to give a message to Congress and the President that we are tired of them spending our money and not listening to our views.
I can't sit down while something this drastically harmful to our country is going on.
Homemade signs accused Mr. Obama of socialism, communism, and worse.
I think his agenda is to actually destroy this country.
What joke is this? I honestly did not think that this House could pass this bill. These are hardworking, blue-collar workers, many in my area, if not most, union members. Look, they're not necessarily big fans of Mark Sauter or Republicans. It's their constituency they're putting out of work. People who didn't necessarily have a college degree, who worked in steel mills, who worked in auto places, who got up and early in the morning and went in and worked a hard day and thought they could make it in America. But no, we're shipping their jobs away from America because now they're dirty, even though now they'll go to other countries where it'll be dirtier air. What about farmers who get up and now...
But our ideas weren't considered. We weren't allowed in the room. We weren't allowed to participate at all. And all the talk about bipartisanship that we've heard over the last several months went down the drain.
The yeas are 220. The nays are 215. The bill is passed.
Efforts to control people's minds, both as individuals and on a mass scale. There's a lot of illusions about how that was done. Were Nazis involved in that process? Yes, they were.
Project Paperclip was a United States government-sanctioned CIA operation for the importation of Nazi and fascist scientists. First wave was to bring in scientists. There were 700 odd propulsion scientists, and then there were some 600 and some odd mind sciences people that brought in. The CIA was given the responsibility of actually placing the individuals that had a Project Paperclip into the military-industrial complex, including their colleges and universities. Mind control was a psychological warfare weapon that Adolf Hitler regarded as the answer for taking over the entire planet.
Wouldn't it make more sense to enhance public water with vitamins which are meant to be ingested to promote overall health, rather than putting such a toxic chemical in our water with a bogus explanation that it will improve our dental health. We now know that fluoride causes more dental problems than it solves. Something doesn't seem right about this. Do you honestly believe that these companies care deeply enough for the people to spend large amounts of their own money to fluoridate public water when the people already purchase their own toothpaste? But there's a difference between toothpaste and drinking water. We don't ingest toothpaste. If you go to any hardware store and look at any rat poison product, you will only find one ingredient: sodium fluoride. It is the most toxic ionic molecule outside of potassium dichromate. Now Dannon, along with other companies, have begun fluoridating bottled water. It is becoming increasingly difficult to get away from. And the fact that fluoride is also used in many prescription antidepressants shows that it eliminates aggression and motivation in people.
Fluoride, to my knowledge as a physician, has absolutely no biological benefit whatsoever.
But one of the significant things is that the Russians carried out all sorts of experiments on the people living in the Gulag. One of them, of course, was to fluoridate the water. Why? If you fluoridate the water, why people are not as aggressive as they ordinarily would be. In fact, what is the active ingredient in Prozac that is so widely distributed in America today? Why, it's a fluoride compound.
You know, when I was a kid, I used to see these trails in the sky all the time, and I thought, oh, that's cool. A jet just went over. And then you started to see a whole bunch of them. And next thing you know, everybody in your neighborhood was fighting and arguing, and you didn't know why. Okay, and you really didn't know why. I mean, everybody was fighting.
But what we do know is there's something in the skies that should not be there.
The white trail's not coming out of the engines. It's coming out of aerosol units on the aircraft. In the very beginning, the early days, the aircraft were flying relatively low, 10,000 feet or below, and they were developing the program. They were mostly contract aircraft, mostly CIA aircraft. Now the program has been expanded, and commercial airliners have been outfitted with aerosol units that are controlled through computer systems and satellites to dispense a barium salt mixture. It's a mixture of barium salt, not coming out of the engine. It's coming out of aerosols. And we have checked on information. We do confirm that the name of the project is Project Cloverleaf in the aircraft industry. It is very secretive. It is the most secretive thing I have ever encountered. People have died over this, talking about it.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you're talking about something that can be done with mind control to where you can affect people's minds and they don't even know it.
That's correct.
And this is masses of people.
Right.
They can do it at a level where you could be walking down the street and you could get infiltrated with these sound waves and you wouldn't even know that they were hitting you.
That's right.
While those weapons are created and owned by this government, they are harmless without people willing to use them. Those who send us to war do not have to pull a trigger or lob a mortar round. They do not have to fight the war, they merely have to sell the war. They need a public who is willing to send their soldiers into harm's way. They need soldiers who are willing to kill and be killed without question. They can spend millions on a single bomb, but that bomb only becomes a weapon when the ranks in the military are willing to follow orders to use it. They can send every last soldier anywhere on Earth, but there will only be a war if soldiers are willing to fight. And the ruling class, the billionaires who profit from human suffering, care only about expanding their wealth, controlling the world economy. Understand that their power lies only in their ability to convince us that war, oppression, and exploitation is in our interest. They understand that their wealth is dependent on their ability to convince the working class to die to control the market of another country. And convincing us to kill and die is based on their ability to make us think that we are somehow superior. We need to wake up and realize that our real enemies are not in some distant land. They're not people whose names we don't know and cultures we don't understand. The enemy is people we know very well and people we can identify. The enemy is a system that wages war when it's profitable. The enemy is the CEOs who lay us off from our jobs when it's profitable. It's the insurance companies who deny us health care when it's profitable. It's the banks who take away our homes when it's profitable. Our enemy is not 5,000 miles away. They are right here at home. If we organize and fight with our sisters and brothers, we can stop this war, we can stop this government, and we can create a better world.